Looking back, I always considered that my career as a dog proper really started when I was bought for the sum of half a crown by the Shy Man. That event marked the end of my puppyhood. The knowledge that I was worth actual cash to somebody filled me with a sense of new responsibilities. It sobered me. Besides, it was only after the half-crown changed hands that I went out into the great world, and, however interesting life may be in an East End public house, it is only when you go out into the world that you really broaden your mind and begin to see things. Within its limitations, my life had been singularly full and vivid. I was born, as I say, in a public house in the East End, and however lacking a public house may be in refinement and the true culture, it certainly provides plenty of excitement. Before I was 6 weeks old, I had upset 3 policemen by getting between their legs when they came round to the side door, thinking that they had heard suspicious noises. And I can still recall the interesting sensation of being chased 17 times round the yard with a broom handle after a well-planned and completely successful raid on the larder. These and other happenings of a like nature soothed for the moment, but could not cure, the restlessness which has always been so marked a trait in my character. I have always been restless, unable to settle down in one place, and anxious to get on to the next thing. This may be due to a gypsy strain in my ancestry. One of my uncles traveled with a circus.
Father was a St. Bernard, my mother was a collie, but I am a Presbyterian. That is what my mother told me. I do not know these nice distinctions myself. To me, they are only fine, large words meaning nothing. My mother had a fondness for such. She liked to say them, and see other dogs look surprised and envious, as wondering how she got so much education. But indeed, it was not real education, it was only show. She got the words by listening in the dining room and drawing room where there was company, and by going with the children to Sunday school and listening there. And whenever she heard a large word, she said it to herself over many times, and so was able to keep it there until there was a dogmatic gathering around in the neighborhood. Then she would get it off in surprise and distress them all, from pocket pup to mastiff, which rewarded her for all her trouble. If there was a stranger, he was nearly sure to be suspicious, and when he got his breath again, he would ask her what it meant. She always told him. He was never expecting this, but he would catch her. So when she told him, he was the one that looked ashamed, whereas he had thought it was going to be she. The others were always waiting for this, and glad of it, and proud of her, and they knew what was going to happen because they had had experience. When she told the meaning of a big word, they were all so taken up with admiration that it never occurred to any dog to doubt if it was the right one. And that was natural, because, for one thing, she answered up so promptly that it seemed like a dictionary speaking. And for another thing, where could they find out whether it was right or not? For she was the only cultivated dog there was. By and by, when I was older, she brought home the word unintellectual one time, and worked pretty hard all the week at different gatherings, making much unhappiness and despondency. And it was at this time that I noticed that during that week she had asked for the meaning at 8 different assemblages and flashed out a fresh definition every time, which showed me she had more presence of mind than culture, though I said nothing, of course.